Howdy folks, and I hope you've perfected your uphill skiing wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale showdown. But before we dive into the main event on tonight's bill, I'd like to send the usual suckhead size shout out to everyone who's supported the channel. And please drop a like and hype on this video as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to mash that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're sure not to miss any of the 1/6 scale news, reviews, previews, showcases, tours and all that other great stuff that we've got coming up. So today's fanged face-off is between two different takes on everyone's favourite Daywalker. In the red corner, weighing in at a grand old age of 15 years old, it's Hot Toys' take on Wesley Snipes. As Blade, from the best Blade movie ever made, in my opinion, Blade 2. Pretty much the reigning champion, but have the years been kind to him? And can he still hold his own against the new challenger? In the blue corner, Soosoo Toys' take on B from probably the worst movie in the trilogy, in my opinion, Blade Trinity. So, without further ado, it's seconds out, round one, and it's accessories time. Okay folks, so round one accessories round. Can the unlicensed figure in the blue corner hold its own against the Hot Toys fully licensed figure in the red corner? Well, in the accessories department anyway. Let's take a look, have a quick skip through. Let's start with the bases. The stands that you get with these two figures. With the Hot Toys, because of its age, it's that standard plastic oval with a little raised section there that says Blade on the front and Blade 2 across the centre there. I've never been the biggest fan of these old Hot Toys stands. I know they've got a huge fan base out there because of their small footprint. Not my favourite stand of all time, but it does the job, and I think it still holds up really, really well today. What Soosoo Toys have given us, however, is something entirely different. This is in keeping with Soosoo Toys' sort of theme with their bases. They go with this black hexagonal style base with this sort of metallic type sculpting on the top there. It says Blade in the centre there. So really, it's difficult to make a decision on this one. Personally, I tend to prefer the Soosoo Toys. I think it's better for posing. You've got more acreage to work with. I like the subtlety of the blade design in the middle, but this one serves its purpose as well and is classic in its design. So really, I'd say that's a draw on the bases there. Although personally, I tend to prefer the Soosoo Toys stand. So that stands out of the way. Let's talk hands. You know me and my hands. Now they both come with pretty much the same amount of hands. Slight differences in the hands, in as much as there were different styles in the films. In Blade Trinity, on the right hand side here, the Soosoo Toys version, you've got a studded glove with those studs picked out on the knuckle area there, which are really nice. There's contrasting textures if the light's catching this. Creasing's good. Overall, I think Soosoo Toys, forgive the pun, have made a fist of it. The Hot Toys hands, well, they are very, very good, as we've come to expect from Hot Toys hands. There's probably one bonus here that I prefer in the Hot Toys hands, and that is that Soosoo Toys have had to include a little plastic cuff that goes around the wrist to cover up the wrist peg. And it looks sort of like the bottom end of a glove, but it's a bit makeshift, whereas Hot Toys have actually sculpted in the cuff on the glove itself with creases, and they just look slightly better in my opinion. That's not to say that the Soosoo Toys hands are bad. I just think past masters Hot Toys here with hands, and even for a figure of this age, I think they've done a cracking job. Although some of the texturing on the Soosoo Toys hands is better. So as far as sort of flexibility goes, they're both at about a medium, so you're probably going to need a hairdryer and hot water if you're going to be using them with the weapons, which of course you are. So I'd say it's a tie there. It's a tie. So we'll put the hands to one side so we can get to the rest of the accessories. Probably the most important thing here, bar that jacket, is the weaponry. Now there is variation in the weaponry here. Obviously, two different films, two different sets of weapons. We'll compare and contrast the ones that are the same, and it's the two handguns. You get two of these with both the figures. One of these is currently holstered or held by the figure, so I just thought we'd take a look at these quickly. Now, on the right hand side, you have the Soosoo Toys version. On the left hand side, you have the Hot Toys version. And I've got to say straight away, I think the Hot Toys version is better. The sculpting is better, the detailing is better, particularly on that handle there, on the grip area on the left hand side. The metallic paint application on that grill metal section in the middle, I just think is better. There is some difference in detailing here. That's been added by Soosoo Toys, but on the whole, I just think that the older Hot Toys version is slightly better. They both come complete with removable magazines, with sculpted in bullets, and really, once again, it's down to personal taste. Though I'm not saying the Soosoo Toys one is bad. I just personally prefer the one on the left. But either would do, really, and it really, I would say once again, down to personal taste. So that's those two guns. Now, can't really compare the other weaponry because there's too much difference here. With the Hot Toys, you get the sort of take on a Mac-10, which I think is really, really nicely done. You don't get this with the Soosoo Toys version. However, they do include two other weapons that you don't get with the Hot Toys version, which is this revolver, which is very nicely done. The paint applications on there, the grey, the revolving chamber, the sculpted in bullets, all really nice. And you also get this shotgun as well, with its fold down feature, cocking feature, and 2 shells to go in there. So really, I think probably the paint applications is slightly softer on the Soosoo Toys weaponry here, but overall I think both sides have done well on weapons. So that's the two guns for Soosoo and Hot Toys. Let's take a, oh yeah, we've got the other individual weapons as well. You get these with the Hot Toys versions, the two wrist blades, the coagulant wrist blades, which have a sliding out action, which is a little bit finicky to use, but it does work. You've got to get a finger in there or some item, and you can slot those blades out. You can attach them to the wrists and pose them with a figure. The paint applications are really good. They're attached by these elastic straps, they're screen accurate, and they're a really nice inclusion, probably make up for the fact that you get 2 extra guns with the Soosoo Toys. So once again, bar some minor differences in quality of paint application and sculpt, pretty much on a par here. The blades, blades eponymous blade, the spinny blades. Now on the right we have the Soosoo Toys version, obviously left is Hot Toys version, and there really isn't that much difference between these two. They're sculpted plastic, they both fold away. There's some more weathering on the Soosoo Toys version here, on this particular one. But the paint applications on the Hot Toys version come off as more metallic if the light's catching this. Now whether that's down to the weathering, I don't know, but I think probably in the balance of things, I would say Hot Toys have got it beat as far as these spinny blades go. So yeah, probably Hot Toys are ever so slightly ahead at this point, I would say. What else do you get? You do get a full collection of metal stakes, of spikes rather, the metal stakes. Now, I'm just going to remove one here from the Soosoo Toys version. We're just going to compare and contrast one. Yeah, they're both sculpted plastic. The paint applications are pretty good, I would say. Once again, probably the paint applications on the Hot Toys version are slightly better. They come off as slightly more metallic. I would say their metallic paint applications on pretty much everything that we look at today is slightly better with Hot Toys. But yeah, those are the spikes. You also get sunglasses. Now, the sunglasses changed in between movies, so really, once again, probably apples and oranges this a little bit. But when you get up close, I would say that the Hot Toys sculpting is better here, and the paint application is better. Pretty much it's all one shiny plastic with the lenses included on the Soosoo Toys version, whereas you have a slightly different tonal change in the lens there if the light is catching that. And it's got these ribs down the arms of the glasses as well, if the camera's picking that up. So yeah, I'm not saying the Soosoo Toys glasses are bad, they are screen accurate, they're on point. The glasses did change in size and style between movies, but I would say, once again, for paint and sculpt, I think Hot Toys edge it ever so slightly with the ones on the left here, so that's the glasses. Let's take a look at some of the other weaponry that's not included. With the Soosoo Toys version, you get the dagger. which he dispatches many a vampire with in the movie. Nicely done, sculpted plastic, not included with the Hot Toys version, obviously, because I don't think he used it in Blade 2. I'd have to double check that. But this has a natty little feature where you can remove the blade, and you can have the swooshy blade effect, the firing blade, where he actually fires the blade out of the hilt of the knife itself, and it's simply a case of attaching those. If I can do this on camera. Not a massive fan of this type of effect. I know there's a lot of Batman figures and so on that have this this type of effect. It's not my cup of tea, but it's there if you want it, and it's a nice inclusion. So that separates out the Soosoo Toys version a little bit. But you do get the UV grenades that you don't get with the Soosoo Toys version. With the Hot Toys version, sculpted plastic, bit of blue paint application there, detailing is nice. So yeah, you get a UV grenade sort of to compensate for that. So far we're sort of neck and neck, sort of. Let's take a look at the swords. Quick look at the swords now. There are some big differences here. Hot Toys version is all plastic, nice sculpting, nice paint application, and if you're wanting to go for I'm going to chop your hand off because this is not your sword look, you can do that by simply popping out the blade and popping on this hilt. These blades are static in the handle here. You simply slot that section in there and you've got that look if you're wanting to go for it. The Soosoo Toys version is a lot different here, and probably worth mentioning at this point as well. Full reviews for both these figures up on the channel if you wanted to check them out in more detail. Soosoo Toys went metal, which I think was great, really fantastic to see. However, what they did do for the look, rather than having a swap out hilt, is they went for, and I'm going to try and do this, I'll just do it with one because these are super delicate. They do these fold out plastic sections on the handle itself, these fold out plastic blades, and these are very, very delicate. I would say exercise extreme caution. You can see here Mr. Go Figure's struggling to pop those out, and they do flex on there. I can see these breaking quite easily when you're going for a dynamic pose. I think probably Hot Toys solution is better with having a swap out hilt with them fixed in place, but that's just my opinion. Both are good, but I would say Soosoo Toys, blade-wise at least, going for the metal blade was a great idea. They both have virtually identical plastic sheets which slot into the back of the leather coat. So that's the blades. And the blade hilts. You do get a couple of swap out hands, ungloved hands with the Hot Toys version. I've never used these, as you can see from the day I got them, but you don't get that with the Soosoo Toys version. They're all gloved. And finally, the swap out jackets. Now, two entirely different jackets here, but both very well done in my opinion. You've got the sort of puffer jacket on the left hand side here from Hot Toys. This has got the harnesses on it because I'm not using the harnesses on the figure, simply because I think they throw off the figure. They throw off the overcoat itself, but I think Hot Toys have done a cracking job here. You've got this Velcro section on the front. The stitching is excellent, it's screen accurate, the colours are right. I love the fact that they've used a nylon material here, so it's hard wearing. You've got a beautifully stitched and put together collar section there, no loose threads, and great tailoring there. The Soosoo Toys version is a little bit more basic. Yes, there's a difference in price point here, and it probably shows in some of the smaller areas. It's not lined like the Hot Toys version, but it's still a good jacket, and they've still made a fist of it. The screen accuracy wise, I like the ribbing in there, that's on point. The stitch work is pretty good, not quite as good as the Hot Toys version. As you can see there, we've got some threads hanging down. But overall, it does the job, and both jackets are really good. I would say in balance, probably. It looks like there's been more care and attention gone into the Hot Toys version, but yeah, that is what it is. So that's the jackets. The final difference, shall we say, in accessories is this head sculpt, this spare swap out head sculpt that you get with the Soosoo Toys version. And I've already raved about this in the review, and I'm going to rave about it again. I think this is a cracking addition to this figure. Always wanted an open-mouthed, angry head sculpt, and Soosoo Toys have done a cracking job here. The teeth are fantastic, the wet look paint applications in the mouth, the sculpt itself is on point, skin tones, skin textures, that beard, the hairstyle is right, the tattoos are right, everything on point here. The only minor niggle I've got here is that the eyes could be slightly glassier and slightly better painted, but overall it is absolutely 100% Wesley Snipes all over from Blade Trinity, and a cracking head sculpt. And you get this as an inclusion as well with Soosoo Toys, which you don't get with the Hot Toys version. So there you have it, folks. That's the accessories. So it's time for round two, where the two blades come out and go toe-to-toe. Okay, folks, so with Hot Toys just edging it on the accessories round there, ever so slightly, a points decision there from the judges. It's time to wade in with the two contenders. Let's start with the Hot Toys version. And yeah, this isn't the base that this guy comes on. This is another base from, I think it's TB Lee Bloodshot base, which I have a few of, which I use with a number of figures because it just works so well, and it works really well with this Blade figure. But yeah, let's take a look at the original Hot Toys version now. Sculpting on the boots, very, very good. The detailing, some slight weathering there, really excellent. The outfit, now this is what caused a lot of controversy and always does when back in the day when Hot Toys used to use pleather. Now this version's holding up really, really well. I treat my pleather figures with Aerospace 303 and it's held up really, really well. It's wired. The overcoat is really nice. The detailing on that vest is excellent with those buckles on the front there. The screen accuracy is there. Loving the way the spikes fit on that canvas strap. The fall, the fit and the finish, if you take out of the equation the fact that it's pleather, are very, very good. It's got that beautiful deep red lining. The stitching is excellent. It's wired and it's held up really, really well. Those pleather pants have as well. Some people haven't been so lucky. I think that's probably down to the climate that you live in, and they've ended up with a pile of dust rather than an overcoat and pants, but it is what it is. So overall, yeah, I think the outfit here has stood the test of time. The proportions are on point, the screen accuracy is there, and overall a very, very good figure. The articulation is excellent, and posing is not a problem. And I think the fine detailing here, particularly when you get up close with this figure, is excellent. But let's talk head sculpts. Now, you only get the one head sculpt with the Hot Toys version, and a very, very good Wesley Snipes it is too. Unmistakably Blade, unmistakably Wesley. The hair is on point, that pencil moustache is there, the skin tones and textures, yes, it shows its age a little bit in both of those departments. You've got to remember how old this guy is, but considering its age, I think they've done a cracking job. You've got the eponymous tattoos on the back of the neck there. They're done really, really well. My only gripe with this head sculpt, and this is why I've taken the glasses off at this point, is from certain angles. This guy does look a little bit like Eddie Murphy. Now, I'm going to court controversy here. It's particularly this angle that I've got him at right now, because I wanted to highlight it, obviously. With the sunglasses on, it's a completely different story. You don't get that at all, and that says to me that there's an issue here with the eyes. And to me, the eyes are slightly too widely spaced for Wesley Snipes. They're nice and glassy and the right colour, don't get me wrong, but I just think Hot Toys missed a beat there. It works perfectly with the glasses on, as you'll see at the mini showcase at the end, but with them off, there's something not quite right there. It's just missed a beat, shall we say. But once again, for its age, the paint applications and the sculpting are very, very good indeed. As is that pleather jacket, considering it is pleather. But so overall, still an excellent, excellent figure. And I think it stands up really, really well today. But let's take a quick look at the contender. So the new boy on the block, Soosoo Toys take. Now, different outfit here. We've got no leather pants. They were cotton in the movie, or canvas probably, but they've done that really, really well here. Boots aren't quite as well done, I don't think, as the Hot Toys version. The detailing is there, but I think they're just a little bit more convincing, a little bit more weathered on the Hot Toys version. As with the Hot Toys version, the proportions are absolutely nailed on. They are excellent, as is the screen accuracy. No complaints there then. The articulation is great. The detailing on that chest section is really, really nice, and you can go for 3 alternate looks here with this figure. You can have him just in the crimson undershirt. You can have him with crimson undershirt and vest, tactical vest. You can have him with the jacket and tactical vest, or you can go with the overcoat look here, which is what I've gone with. And yeah, I think all of them look brilliant. I'm going to get to the elephant in the room on this one, and that's the overcoat. Now, for a third party to go all in with leather, I think is absolutely fantastic. And this coat has got the Hot Toys version beaten hands down. The fall is so much better. The creasing in there looks natural, whereas in certain points on this pleather it just doesn't look natural, and it's got too much of a shine to it, in my opinion, whereas the Soosoo Toys version is absolutely nailed on. The stitch work, the 6-scale graining on that leather, all fantastic. It falls beautifully, and it's built to last as well, and it's got that crimson lining as well, wired too as well, around the bottom and down the side, so you can have hours of fun getting it to flow behind him in those dynamic poses. The detailing, when you swap it out, and the fact that they've used magnets underneath the clasps there to make it easier to swap out, are all great. As I mentioned before, you have the ability to have the sword on the back. I don't have the sword on the back on here because he's holding it, and I tend not to use it in the Hot Toys version simply because I don't want to put any more pressure on that pleather than is absolutely required. And as with both of these versions, the sheath attaches to the back underneath the figure, under the overcoat itself, with the blade popping out the top there. Yeah, and any unnecessary pressure on this pleather really is not a good idea. But let's talk head sculpts on the Soosoo Toys version. Now, once again, I'm going to court controversy here. I think for a third party and working to a budget, Soosoo Toys have done a phenomenal job here. And to me, this is more Wesley Snipes, particularly now that I view it through the lens of a camera, than the Hot Toys version. The sculpting itself is excellent. The paint applications are great. The detailing there, you've got crow's feet underneath those eyes. The hair is really well done. As with the Hot Toys version, the tats on the back of the head are flawless. You've got that pencil moustache that runs all the way down, which it didn't in Blade 2. So you've got that running around the side of his chin in almost like a 5 o'clock shadow as well. And to me, this sculpt is far, far better. It's not perfect. There's a huge difference in skin tones and textures between the two. The Hot Toys is a lot flatter, a lot more matte. There's more tonal change in the Soosoo Toys version, which I tend to prefer. But for me, it's the overall sculpt. Those eyes are the right distance apart. They're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I think the Hot Toys paint applications on the eyes themselves are far better. They are glassier on the Hot Toys version. However, I think the sculpt here, getting the eye spacing, is far better, and it is far more convincing as Wesley Snipes, as Blade in Blade Trinity. So yeah, a tough one, this one. We need to go in for a final verdict on these two, and this is going to be so difficult. Who's going to win? Who's going to walk away with that crown as the best Blade figure in my collection? It is really difficult, this decision. I've set myself a monumental task here. I would say Hot Toys edge it with the accessories, just down to sculpt and paint applications being ever so slightly better, but really you can't get a piece of paper between the pair of them. I think what's going to decide this clash is that head sculpt. I think there are pluses and minuses with both, but I think what's going to tip this is the head sculpt here and not just this one, but also the Angry Head sculpt that we looked at earlier that you don't get with the Hot Toys version. And also it's the fact that they've used pleather. They use metal in that sword. Pleather's not been used, and they've gone down the leather route. And I think for a third party to use metal and leather is just unheard of. And I think it's great that Soosoo Toys have done this. So yeah, tough decision this one, but I think it's going to be a split decision for the judges here. But I think the winner is by a hair, by a piece of paper, by the smallest of margins. I think it's Soosoo Toys who are going to take the crown here. I think the use of leather, the use of metal, and a superior head sculpt wins the day. So there you have it, folks. In the battle of the blades, who'd have thought Soosoo Toys have come out victorious? I hope you enjoyed this little bit of fun. What are your thoughts on these two figures? Am I getting this completely wrong? Is the Hot Toys version far superior? Is an old man making a lot of mistakes here? Let me know in the comment section below. I would be fascinated to hear your take on this. What have we got coming up on the channel? Well, Rathmore 1/6 scale figure reviews. Next up for review on the channel is the long-awaited Infinity Studios take on Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim. That should be landing very, very soon indeed. We've got a Rathmore 1/6 scale reviews from Hot Toys, from InArt, Soosoo Toys, obviously, Present Toys, Caustic Plastic, Exo6. We've got more previews, more news, more showcases, more tours, as I mentioned at the top there. So be sure to mash that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing anything. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is, from myself and from the two blades, a massive thank you for watching, as always. And until next time on the channel, happy collecting, take care of yourselves, and it's over to the showcase.